questions. I have Eno Quagraine with me in the studio. Good morning, Eno.
Good morning.
Good to see you this morning. And I was excited when we could have you on as judge for Mom of the Year. But before that, like I was telling them, I've always wanted to ask you, talkative mom. Are you the one who calls yourself talkative, or people called you talkative and it became your name?
So I was always on the names of talkative list.
Oh, sir.
Yeah.
At which level in school?
Since class 1. Yeah.
Hey, Eno.
Since
class 1.
Always. Even in secondary school, there was a list that they were actually going to expel the talkatives.
Hey.
And I was actually part of them because I was always talking during prep. Yeah, always. So we had to go and beg and all that. It was
I mean, when I hear people being expelled, maybe they left school without exit. But which school was that?
Holy Child. Our headmistress
for
was
talking.
dramatic.
Oh, wow.
We loved her, but she was really dramatic because I was like, just for talking. But
hey, now I understand. But this, I would really love to know your impression about being a judge for the Mom of the Year. It was our first ever. I know a few times you almost shed some tears, or probably did shed some tears.
Yeah. So I've never ever been a judge. Yeah, so this was like my first.
Wow.
I was really excited. I didn't know what to expect, but once I got in there, when I arrived, I could tell that it was going to be very impactful, very emotional, hearing the stories. I didn't expect to be moved that much, but I was really moved. And the mom that won, like I remember turning to the other judges and telling them we made the right choice.
Wow.
Yeah, like all of them deserved it, but I felt in my spirit that she needed this experience.
She needed it.
And yeah,
I mean, to think that when I took the microphone round and asked people, who do you think is going to win? They kept on saying the middle one, and she was seated in the middle.
Yes.
And to think that she had been telling her children, I'm bringing a TV home from Sunny, that also even amazes me even more. So it's like everything just fell in place. So, Eno, thank you. Thank you for saying yes to us when we came knocking at your door. But, Eno, I love your heart for parents and for moms, and I want to know where that passion came from. How did it all start? What you do?
So I mean, I've always told the story, but my name is Eno, and Eno means mother. So I would say, really, I'm walking in my purpose, but I didn't know until I became a mom, and I felt my birth was a bit traumatic. Yes, so, and I also felt alone during that period because I married really early. So among my friend group, no one could really relate to what I was going through, and I didn't know who to speak to.
So your own child, the birth of your own child was traumatic?
Very traumatic, yeah. The first, because I had been in labor for 48 hours. By the time it was time to push, I was exhausted. They made an incision, and it was, it was traumatic. After birth, I couldn't really sit properly, things like that. The healing process was a lot for me. Breastfeeding was a struggle. So there were all these things that were being thrown at me, and I always call that period the dark times because it was just a lot for me. I felt alone. Later on, I got the support I needed from family and all that. When I think they started to understand what I was going through, but before it was tough, and I really needed an outlet. So I always tell people that I didn't set out to make Talkative Mom my full-time business. It was just an outlet for me. So having the blog, writing about my story and all that, it was therapeutic for me. But I think in the end, it ended up being therapeutic for so many mothers out there. And inviting these moms to also come share their stories on the blog, I started to have a community. So I was building a community organically because, again, like I said, I didn't set out to do all that. And so that's really how the journey began.
Were you into corporate work before you started?
So I've had like a 6-month period where I worked. So I worked at UNFAO.
Okay.
But I realized very quickly that that was not my path. That was what my dad would have wanted me to do.
Okay.
So my dad, unfortunately, he passed away doing a project for them. But I didn't get the job because of him. This was something that was advertised on the side, and I, went through the process and all that. But once I got in, I knew that this wasn't my journey. I can't explain it. Maybe it all happened after he passed away. I think that was when I started to maybe live for me and and all that. So I knew this wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. So I actually started out. My first business was called Tiny Toes, and it was supposed to be like a kids theme party. It was a kids theme party business service. I don't know. Like, my mom has always mentioned the fact that kids are always drawn to me. Ever since I was little, I would have like my nephews and nieces coming over. When it's time to leave, they are bawling like
you're talkative.
Crying.
I mean,
yeah,
I figured they would enjoy you.
They would enjoy, no. Yeah, and I'm very playful as well. So yeah, I think so. Once I told her I wanted to do this, at the time, this was in 2014. No one was really doing kids theme parties and all that. So that's what I set out doing, and it kind of progressed from there.
Okay.
And,
interesting. We have a message here from a gentleman watching us, listening as well. Says, hello, Eno. So we are live with Eno on Facebook and YouTube. I remember Nowadays Santi, she runs Anyedu. She sent some announcement around that she was doing something for children. It was a summer thing, and my kids were home, and I was working, and oh my God, I was so much wahala because I didn't know how I was going to be at two places, be home, be at work with them on vacation. So she mentioned the venue. So I dropped them over. That was for the first time when I saw the
studios.
Yes, that was for the first time when I saw your studios. And I want you to tell us about that new venture you went into. What inspired it?
So 2020, I hosted my first event. It was supposed to be an intimate event for mothers, and this was just days shy of the lockdown. And so once we had that event, I realized it was something that the mothers needed. COVID happened. Right after COVID, it seemed people were longing for social interaction and
connection.
All that. So I started to host a lot more events. So from 2021 onwards, it was just back-to-back events all the time. And I realized, I think we have a solid community, and we would need a physical location where sometimes I can even host like free events and stuff like that. So that's really how Talkative Mom Studio started. My mom had told me about this space that she had seen, because it was right behind my parents' place, and there were people who had been in there for years, and they had just moved out. So we went to check it out, and I spoke to my landlord at the time. Very, very nice person, and I mean, he'd known me for a while. So when I told him about my idea, he was fine with it, and we went into an agreement. I think I'm going into details too much, but just
you're talkative,
talkative, yeah. And the fact, for me, I always say that it was all orchestrated by God, because the fact that he agreed to a 20-year lease, that was
what?
Yeah, a 20-year lease. I know. And I felt in my spirit immediately that ask for 20 years.
Wow.
20 years in. This is a lot too.
Yeah.
I asked, and he immediately agreed.
Wow.
Immediately agreed. So it's kind of where it's been. I don't know. I feel like God has aligned everything.
Yeah.
For this particular things that we're doing.
So what happens at Talkative Mom Studios?
So at the studios, we have a Saturday club. So basically, it's supposed to be like the village that they promised us as parents. That's really what it's supposed to be.
I like how you put it.
Yeah. So we have caregivers there. So you can drop off your kids on Saturdays if you have an event, or whatever it is. Drop them off Saturdays. We have a Saturday club from 9 to 4 p.m. Or you can do, that's a full day. You can do half day, 9 to 1.
Okay.
We just engage them in different, like gardening, baking, experiential activities.
Wow.
Painting, depending on your age. And then we also assist with homework. as well.
Oh, you
Yes.
do?
Yes, as part
Lately,
of
I'm
it.
seeing parents on my wall on Facebook say that they don't understand why they are paying so much school fees, and then the teachers give the kids homework that is like above them, and they have to go find out how to get it
Yeah,
done.
so
You
we
assist
do.
them with homework.
We assist the homework as well. And then the
Wow.
best part, what the parents love about the space is we bath them, and then you come and pick them up at the end of the day, and they are ready for bed. So we bath them, feed them, all that. So they get lunch, snack. We assist with homework. They get to play. By the time you pick them up, they are tired. They are ready for bed.
And I've seen the photos of the
Mhm.
rooms, of the
Yeah.
showers.
Yeah.
It is so clean. It's
Yeah.
spotlessly clean.
It
I mean,
is.
for any mom who's always wondering, hey, where am I taking my son, my daughter? It is spotlessly clean.
is.
So this is from Saturdays from
That's on
9 a.m. to
Saturday.
4 p.m. You can drop them over.
Yes. And then Monday to Friday, we
Mhm.
also run a daycare. So it's infants and toddler care.
Okay.
So that as well. That's from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. We drop them off. Same thing. We'll engage the kids till the end of the day. It's not a school. I have to mention that people always get it confused. It's not a
Okay.
school. It's infants and toddler care.
Mm.
We take care of them throughout the week. Those who are also on vacation, maybe your school has gone on a break, you can also bring your kids.
Oh.
Yeah, and then we'll
I'm smiling in my heart. I'm
Yeah.
sure some mom out there is also smiling in our heart. I mean, this month, what we said was that we'll bring you closer to brands that support women motherhood.
Mhm.
And I mean, this solution Eno has provided is incredible. So, I mean, it's Saturdays, because there's so many things happening on
Yes.
Saturdays. There's a wedding, there's a funeral, there's a naming ceremony,
Yes.
there's something. In fact, we also ask you to come over on Saturday. But
Yeah.
thank God for Talkative Mom Studios. You can drop the kids off
Yeah,
and then come and join us. You do a podcast as well. Can you tell us
Yes.
about that?
So Truly Talkative is a podcast where we dive into our childhood and how it impacts our relationships today. So it's really supposed to be about parenting, but it's from another angle where adults are speaking about how they were parented and how it has affected them today. So young parents watching are able to see kind of like a result of whatever their parenting is right now. So if maybe you're being really strict, or you're not being too strict, things like that, or certain words that you're speaking to your kids now, you realize that 30, 40-year-old adults still remember the words that were spoken to them as kids, and it has forever changed their lives or
Yes.
how they view themselves.
Yes.
So these are some of the conversations that we have on the podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll be having a live show. We are done for the season. We'll be having a live show at the studios next Saturday, that's
Okay.
1st June, at 5 p.m. From 5 and we end at 9.
Mm.
And we'll have all the guests from season 1 there. So we get to
Oh.
interact with them. We'll also discuss a few more topics there. And
Okay.
yeah, it'll be
That's awesome.
And it's just 100 cities, so yes.
And how many children do you have?
3.
So three.
3 kids.
I
yeah.
think the last would be, I mean, the third for now is a girl, right?
Yes.
Enjoying, I've seen pictures of her enjoying Banku here and there. But from one young mom to another, this month we are sharing insights, sharing strategies on some of the things we do mothers do to make motherhood easier, more
Mhm.
manageable, and shall I say, more joyous.
Mhm.
And from one young mom to another, what would you say? 3 things you'd like to share.
The first thing is throw away the word balance, because that is the number one. Yeah, everyone is like, how do you balance it?
Yes,
I'm
yeah.
trying to balance it all. You cannot balance it all.
Mm.
It can't. It's not possible because you're one person. So know that you can do one thing at a time, and you would have to, if you have the funds, you would need assistance.
Okay.
So yes, you would need to ask for help. So please throw away the word balance, and that links me to the second point, which is ask for help. And then the third thing is give yourself grace, because you're human. So give yourself some grace.
Give yourself some grace. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for passing through the studio.
welcome.
This is Sunny 88.7 FM, Duffy's Easier Motherhood series. If anyone wants to reach out to Talkative Mom, is there a number they can call you on?
Yes. So please check us out on Instagram. We are very active on Instagram. Truly Talkative without it's just Truly Talkative together without an underscore. But Talkative Mom is talkative_mom, MOM. I'm very responsive. You can just send a DM. I'll be able to assist whatever you need. Yeah.
Thank you, Eno. I'm still sitting and thinking, class 1, Pana would do what Talkative listen. Hey, you do all, Eno. Here's Michael Bublé with Mother. Oh boy.